The funny thing about Hannah is she never crawled. She skipped it entirely and went straight to walking and running. She was such an eager little girl. Guess she was always looking for the next amazing thing. I know that Hannah loved every one of you.
Hi, I'm Abel Tomlinson of Move to Amend, Arkansas. I am public access, and so are you.
Okay, hi, I'm Richard Drake. Welcome to a special edition of On the Air with Richard S. Drake, not live tonight. We're taping this August 23rd, 1992 at the studios of KIX 104. My guest, or I don't know if I'm kind of like a guest here in the studio. I'm here with Tony Marconi, who has something in common with Tiny Tim. In fact, because she was married on the airwaves, so to speak.
I thought you were going to say my shape. No, because obviously I'm having a baby due September 20th. But
That'll probably be about the time the show airs.
Mm-hmm.
September 20th.
Sounds great. That's great.
So maybe you'll name your child on the air.
Right. I've thought about it.
So how actually did you come to get married on the air? It was on the radio, right?
Actually, my first thought when I was engaged was to run off and get away from it all and not even think about a wedding. But I came in and I told the secretaries that that I was getting married. And they're like, oh, it would be so cool if you could do it on the air. And one thing led to another, and it snowballed in, and I was just all of a sudden, not only was I getting married on the air, but Jess Smith, our news director, he is also a minister.
Oh, wow.
In his former life. 25 years ago, he was a minister, so he performed the ceremony, got licensed in Arkansas, performed the ceremony, and Doug Whitman, our general manager, gave me away. So it was kind of in the family thing, because I've grown up here. I started here when I was 23 years old. And,
so how long have you been with the station now?
this is my 9th year. I'm in my 9th year right now.
Okay, so you've probably seen a lot of changes here. Just
Oh,
a lot
yeah.
of changes in equipment.
Oh, right. When we first signed on, of course, we were on Maple Street. I don't know if you're familiar with that. We were in a very small gas station.
I remember that.
An old converted gas station.
I remember that.
And our equipment was Dinosaur.
KNWA, I think, used to be in the same building.
Right.
Right.
Dinosaur equipment. And in fact, I believe that we donated that to Shiloh Museum when we, as antiques. So that's the stuff was 25 years older when we moved in, and fortunately we were able to sign on. I need ID here in a few seconds. We signed on and we just rode the tidal wave to the top immediately. It was incredible. I was here the day that KIX 104 signed on, and it was just absolutely incredible. The energy throughout the whole town, Northwest Arkansas, they were dying for a country station.
Yeah.
24-hour country station, and we had all our reader board signs up saying that we were going to be on the air. Hold on just a second.
Line 2, darling.
Thank you. Just a sec. KIX 104 KKIX Fayetteville plays today's Hot Country. KIX 104. Hi, this is Tony. May I help you?
Yes, Tony. This is Elizabeth.
Oh, Elizabeth, can I call you back?
Sure.
Are you going to be, how late can I call you?
Well, I was going to tell you that I'm tried you all afternoon and the line was busy.
I know, I had a million phone calls
I
today.
bet. But really tonight it's going to get pretty late because I've got little kids to try
Okay.
to put to bed. But
Okay.
can we talk about it tomorrow?
That's great, that's great. I think I've got a an aerobatic pilot that would like to do some rides for us.
Oh, right.
But I need to talk about it, how we want to set it up and everything.
Yeah.
So why don't I'll call you tomorrow morning?
Okay, that'd be great.
Let me get your number again, just
All
in
right.
case.
It's
Okay, and I'll call you probably around 10-ish, okay?
okay. I have a meeting at 11, but
Okay.
I won't be leaving until shortly before that. So.
Okay, great. That'll work good. Thanks, Elizabeth.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I'm in the Northwest Arkansas Circle of Friends. We are a group that raises money for the Children's Hospital, Arkansas Children's Hospital. Last year we raised $55,000.
Wow.
So we have a dinner, dance, and auction that we do every year for it, and it really has been successful.
So
Sorry.
somebody from the Circle of Friends should come on my show and talk about it.
Oh, yeah, it'd be great.
Anyway, yeah, it would be great if Circle of Friends could come on the show.
Yeah, it's a great organization. They have done just miracles with raising money in this area, and this year we're hoping to top that $55,000 mark.
KIX 104 has always been a kind of, I mean, it's always been real local, hasn't it? I mean, it had a lot of community involvement. You're always going to clubs and broadcasting, and of course you give away the prizes on the weekends.
I definitely think that that's partially why we are so successful, because we are very involved in the community. We always like to keep visible, because not only does it help the community, but it helps us to be visible as well. And we have really participated in, we all have our little pet organizations.
Right.
Mine are the Children's Hospital and Special Olympics. I do their MC work for them every year. And everybody here pretty much picks a different organization that they really are wanting to be involved with, and they do an excellent job. I mean, it's our community involvement too. We make 2 public appearances a month. Each DJ does.
Each DJ does?
We're not really required to, but we
It's good public
do
relations.
it.
It's good public relations. Now,
As a rule.
we're not hearing anything right now, so what are we doing?
Dick's going to start another song.
Okay. How do songs make it to the... This is probably a real naive question. How do songs make it to the top 10, I guess, in any market?
Unfortunately, I hate to say this, but it's very political. It's a song, really, KIX 104 is nationally recognized as a prominent station because we are rated so highly, and also because we report to the trade magazines like Radio and Records and Billboard and Gavin.
Right.
And when you report to the trade magazines, you get a little more, I guess maybe I'd call it respect from the record companies. Right. And what they do is they send us songs every week. Sometimes we get up to, 25 songs a week.
25 new songs a week?
But we can only add 2 or 3. So a lot of times, songs that come out, you won't ever hear on the radio. For instance, Kenny Rogers had a song that they released. It just didn't make it.
Well, people have always said the best songs weren't the ones you heard on the radio. They were always the ones on the rest of the album.
Well, I think you hear good songs on the radio, but I think also that some songs are just not radio friendly, but they're album friendly. Right. You'll listen to an album in your home and you'll say, wow, that is just a fabulous song. But if you heard it on the radio, you'd say, I don't know if I like that song as well. I can name an example. Pirates of the Mississippi had a song out that I felt like was an album cut. I call those album cuts, that they released as a single, and it didn't really do that well. It made it up the charts to about number 30, and then it kind of fell off, and I think that's because it really wasn't that radio friendly, even though it's a fabulous song and everybody loves it. It just, and also there's a lot of other things that play a part in music. One is record sales. Well, probably the number one thing is record sales. How many people buy the record? Also, how it's doing on the national charts influences us locally to a degree. Now, we like to try and choose. We have three people here in the radio station on a music panel.
Right.
And every week we listen to the new songs, and we discuss them and we debate them and we decide, you know, which ones we want to run and which ones we don't want to. And
Now
we don't always agree on that.
You're taking something out of this machine here, and we keep saying the word record, and we keep saying album.
Yeah.
But it's like, we're talking about dinosaurs.
It's really a misnomer.
Okay,
yeah, they don't have those no more.
So what are we actually talking about?
Hold on just a second. Let me do break. KIX 104, Colin Ray in This Life, and the Bellamy Brothers with Cowboy Beat. Attention members and guests of Night Lights in the Springdale Holiday Inn. I hope that you'll be there tomorrow night to join me. We're going to have the finals of the big dance contest out there. It's a line dance contest, and we have some neat things that we're going to be giving away. What we're going to do is we're going to give away some tickets to see Doug Stone at the Ozark Mountain Amphitheater. We're going to have two winners of the semifinals, and then the finalist winners later that night will win $104 cash and overnight accommodations in Branson, Missouri. So I hope that everybody will be able to join us tomorrow night at Night Lights in the Springdale Holiday Inn, KIX 104.
Now,
Tonight's a little slow because it's Monday, fortunately.
Okay. This right here is what they call a cart. Is that what that is?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Those are, you can see that they're the shape of an 8-track.
Yeah.
Just a second, let me get this real quick. KIX 104, here's Paul Overstreet with Heroes, KIX 104. These are like 8 tracks. You remember the old 8-track machine?
Yes, very well.
But there's only one track on it.
Can we show this? Okay, here we go.
There's only one track on it, and it's a loop.
Is that used for commercials primarily?
And whenever you're recording a commercial onto it, then you set you put the tones onto it.
Okay.
And that is what that's what stops it and tells it where to start. But if you stuck one of these in that was erased, it would just run forever. It's
really?
continual loop.
Okay.
You know, if it was an erased tape, it would never stop running.
So I guess these probably get reused quite a bit, don't they?
And they are. We have a little bit of our music on it. Music that is on records. Used to be all the music was always on card. Until just, let's see, how many years ago did we change over to CD? Oh, I guess it's been about 4 or 5 now.
So
5.
So the music was actually not, you didn't play the music on records itself?
Ever.
Oh.
Not ever since I've been here 9 years and we never used a record. Not one. I have a turntable hidden under here, you know, but we never use it.
Okay. Yeah, I did some radio 20 years ago, and of course we played records then.
Right, exactly. And I have never played records in my radio career. You know, I've been in the business for about 12 years now.
So what's that worry about putting the needle right at the exact spot?
Exactly.
So what does this do? This actually, I saw you hit like 5 on there.
Okay. What I do when I'm queuing this up, I queue up. Of course, you realize that's starting at the beginning.
Right.
I want number 5,
Right.
program, and auto cue.
So
And what that does is it plays cut number 5 off my compact disc,
Right.
and it also will stop after cut number 5 stops. It's programmed in to actually stop so that it won't continue on to the next one. If you hear a song go on to the next one, sometimes it's because you didn't hit the program button hard enough, or you know, sometimes you'll hear. I know it's hard to believe there's a mistake once in a while.
Not a KIX 104, surely.
Oh yeah, no, never. And on CDs, these are your CDs. Now you've got the writing on the top,
Right.
and this was something that I learned when we first got CDs that I didn't realize that the laser plays the bottom of the CD.
Now that people have these at home don't know that.
When you're playing them and you put it in like this and you see the top, but it actually plays the bottom of
So
this.
it's clear bottom, that's what plays.
And that's why it's really important to keep the bottom of your CDs clean, because people don't realize, and they're real careful at the top sometimes.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Rather than the bottom. And to clean them, all you need to do is use a soft cloth on them. Don't, you know, use any kind of, but yeah, I think even people who own CD players don't realize that.
Wow.
But that was one thing that surprised me when I first started using CDs was that it plays the bottom of the CD.
Was it a welcome change when CDs came in?
No, actually, we had carts, and pull one of those off the wall, and I'll show you.
Or just a cart? Or?
No, over here on the right next to the.
Right here.
Yeah, that's fine. And on this cart, it tells me that this is Juice Newton's "This Old Flame."
Right.
It's a 15-second intro time. It's a medium slow song. It's 2 minutes and 52 seconds long, and it ends cold.
Okay.
And I know all that information from this cart.
Okay.
But I don't have that. Yeah.
Yeah. But you don't have that on these?
But I don't have that on these. I have it written down here.
Oh, no.
But I don't have it on these. So that takes you a little bit of, it took me a little time to get used to that transformation. This, you stuck it in, you played it.
Yeah.
Those you have to program.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You know, so you get to the point, you get spoiled. You know, I think I was a little spoiled with that. But the quality of these CD players is so immensely better.
Are CD players really better?
Oh yeah,
They
without a doubt. Those cards, you get tape hiss. You're dubbing when you have a cart. You take that was back in the days of the records.
Right.
The only reason we have carts now is because they do not exist on CD. There's a few songs that don't exist on CD.
So you actually still play them?
Just a few of them.
Okay,
yeah.
like the oldies, I guess? Mm-hmm.
Most oldies are on CD also, but there's a few songs that you just can't find anywhere on CD.
Okay. Now you have something new coming in.
DAT.
DAT.
Now,
What does DAT stand for?
digital audio tape is what it is. And DATs are, I think probably I'm fighting DATs about the same way I fought CDs when they came in. You know, because it takes a while to get used to them.
Yeah.
You know, and we don't use the DAT that much, but it is very clear. What I was going to tell you is on a CD, you stick it into the machine, and that's first generation. You're playing the song right exactly as it was recorded from the studio.
Yeah.
You stick a card in, and you've recorded that from the record to the cart, and then you're putting it over the air. So you've got tape hiss and that much more noise. Whereas with CDs, it's incredibly clear. It's just incredible. Now, probably, unless you have a good stereo, you're not going to recognize that at home.
Okay.
Even though but if on a good.
So you need an adequate player.
I think so, but you know, over the years, the more I've listened to them, the more I felt like, gosh, that sounds so good.
So do you have a CD player at home?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I love it. I love my CD player.
Do you play a lot of country music at home for enjoyment? I know you're immersed in it here.
Actually,
and you hear the same songs over and over and over again.
there's several things I do when I'm at home. My listening habits. One is since I am on the music panel, and I'm co-music person,
Right.
I try and listen to full albums of people. You know, like for instance, the new Winona Judd is just excellent. The new Mark Chestnut album is really great. The new Clint Black I thought was so-so. I go home, I listen to them 2-3 times maybe to try and decide how I feel about it. So if a listener calls me and says, "What do you think about the album?" I'll know what I'm talking about.
It's still kind of like work.
You know,
I mean,
and yes, that's part of my job.
Yeah.
Hold on. KIX 104, it's 9:17. I'm Tony Marconi playing today's Hot Country. KIX 104.
Notice you do your soundboard all yourself too.
Right.
This is beautiful equipment. Can we bring? Is it possible to bring the camera over here and get some? Here we are. We're dismantling our camera.
Yeah. Coming around.
This is beautiful state of the art equipment. I've been to some radio stations that were,
We are very
operating on a
fortunate. We are very, very fortunate. We are owned by Noel Mark Broadcasting in El Dorado.
Yeah.
And we have been very lucky to have total unlimited support from our owners. that's a rarity in radio. You don't always get that kind of support, and it's very much appreciated. Our owners are great. They're nice people, and I can honestly say that I love them. They're just wonderful.
So isn't this kind of like a fantasy job, being a disc jockey? A lot of people would love to be a disc jockey.
Yeah, it's sometimes it's a lot of work, and sometimes it's a lot of stress. You know, you've got. Most people think I come up here and I just pick my favorite tunes and I play them.
Yeah.
But they don't realize they're dealing with CD players. I'm taking meter readings. I'm
You make it or break it?
yeah. Well, I don't do Make It or Break It anymore, but I have Country Comment. We dropped Make It or Break It about a month ago now because it had kind of run its run, you know, and I'm still thinking about whether I want to replace it with anything or not. But you also have the Weather Wire. To check, and listeners call in, you answer phones. Monday's a slower phone day, fortunately for us.
Yeah.
Fridays, I can't answer fast enough.
Wow. So how many nights a week do you work?
Monday through Friday, 7 to midnight.
Okay. So
And Saturday morning, every other Saturday morning,
every other Saturday night. Wow.
9 to 2.
Okay. So this is pretty much your life then, isn't it?
Right. I do, you were saying it's a fantasy job. Yes, it is. Traditionally, I have friends, I graduated from the University of Arkansas in '89, at which time I was working here part-time before I went full-time. And I have friends that graduated the same year as I did that are making 3 or 4 times the money I'm making. So radio is not a job to get into because you want to make lots of money.
Right.
It's the same as television and newspaper reporting, you know.
Yes.
You do it because you love it and because it's fun. And this is a very, very fun job.
Well, you know, you're listening to
Very fun job.
thousands of people listening.
Oh, yeah.
So people listening to you right now at work.
Yes, they work at work and home and things like that.
Do just as many people listen at 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning?
Oh, well, not as many, but the percentages of those, the amount of the people listening in Northwest Arkansas, we have the majority of them.
I know when I'm always trying to win those prizes at 3 o'clock in the morning, there always seem to be a lot of callers.
Yeah, there you still can't win. I mean, they're there. Listeners are there. We have lots.
First and 16th caller.
Mm-hmm, always.
So how soon before you go back on the air?
I've got one more song to play.
Okay.
I was telling you about my at-home listening habits. My husband is not really a country music listener,
Right.
which was fine with me when we got married because, you know, it's hard enough as it is to be married to a radio personality, I believe. And so most of our CDs, I would say we probably have half country and half rock and roll. And a lot of my albums, since I didn't listen to country music until I was 20 years old, a lot of my albums are from the 70s and are rock and roll albums too. And I mean albums. And then I have the CDs too.
Real albums.
I'd say we probably have upwards around 100 CDs and 100 cassettes. And
They pretty much phased out the making albums, haven't they?
oh yeah, I don't think you can buy them in the stores now. I'm almost positive you
I can't
can't.
find out. Just used albums.
In the used record stores, yeah, because they're just obsolete. I mean, it's almost sad, but they because I remember when we stopped getting singles on records.
So is it,
Singles, and now we get single CDs
is it gratifying when you meet your public?
like single CDs.
Is it gratifying when you meet your public?
Oh, I love it. I love it. I think I'm really lucky because my listeners are great. You know, I mean, it's really the most satisfying to me to go out and actually put names with faces. You know, I don't remember them all, but I love to talk to them and meet them and actually put, you know, faces behind. Because when you're here, and I mean, you don't see anybody,
That's right.
and you've got to be able to imagine that.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
since
Thank you very much. We wanted you to come to our show, but since you work when we do the show, we had to come to you. So, well, thank you very much.
well, I'm very grateful that you were able to make it in.
Oh, yeah, this It's been a great experience for all of us.
I hope I answered the right questions.
You did. You were great. Well,
I have a face for radio, and I'm not, that's one of the reasons I never did TV, was I always had that face for
I'm
radio.
on TV. I mean, if I can be on TV, anybody can be on TV.
Believe me, I did news reporting before I did on-air work, and I have done that more than once.
I used to do the Arts and Entertainment Digest for KFAY. That was a lot of fun.
Really? I did. That would be really fun.
Yeah,
I did, all through college, my degree's in broadcast journalism, and all through college I did reporting.
Do people pretty much have to have a degree in broadcasting to break into radio anymore?
You don't ever have to have a degree to be in radio.
Really?
Never, yeah.
So how do people break in?
You start like everybody, like I did, you know, you work at a low station, you know, when this, hold on just a second. KIX 104, Alabama, then again. Leroy Parnell, what kind of fool do you think I am? And before that, we heard from the Judds, Mama, he's crazy. That was the Judds. The Fayetteville Youth Center's Buddy Program is looking for big brothers and big sisters to give children in Northwest Arkansas that often missing adult role model in their lives. If you'd like to volunteer your time, or if you'd like information about it, give me a call here at KIX 104. Break into radio, anybody that a lot of times kids will ask me this.
Yeah.
And what I always recommend is you start at a small station, a small AM station, and you're going to work crummy hours, you know, and you're going to get crummy jobs, and then you work your way up slowly. You start part-time, then you start part-time a few more hours on the weekend, then you build it, and you keep working, and it takes a lot of very hard work to get your breaks.
Okay.
Then you go from like a small station to a bigger station, KIX 104 weekends. Sometimes you'll work weekends at KIX 104 for years. I worked here 3 years part-time. Of course, I was in school and I did one full-time, but most of the time when someone works at a really good station like KIX 104, they don't want to leave, so the job turnover is a lot less than, say, at one of the smaller stations. So it's a lot of work, and it's low pay, and it's crummy hours, but you'll love it.
Yeah, this looks like fun. It looks like a lot of fun.
And I like my shift. People are always like, how can you stand to work that late shift? I love it.
Yeah.
I like I like to sleep in because I'm a slug. KIX 104 looks like it's going to be a little bit warm tomorrow, or how about hot? High about 90 degrees. 30% chance we're going to see some rain, 20% chance tomorrow night, and then a 40% chance on Wednesday, with the lows going down to about 65, highs possibly even reaching 90 degrees. Currently we have 77 degrees in Northwest Arkansas. I should be with you. Here's Steve Warner, KIX 104.
Well, Tony, we've got you away now. Well, thank you very much for the interview.
Thank you.
Really, because we want you to be on the show, but this is how we had to do it. Muhammad had to come to the mountain. The mountain had to come to Muhammad.
The funny thing about Hannah is she never crawled. She skipped it entirely and went straight to walking and running. She was such an eager little girl. Guess she was always looking for the next amazing thing. I know that Hannah loved every one of you.
Hi, I'm Abel Tomlinson of Move Tim End, Arkansas. I am public access, and so are you.
Drop the sweet, sand it down again. Yeah, this old man is my old friend. This old man, he drives cars, old red Fords with black old tires, and a pickup truck. Lots of luck, will it start again? Yeah, this old man is my old friend. This old man, he loves kids. He thinks pumpkin is really his. With a game of cards, staring hard, looking down his nose. There's lots of things that this man knows. Tried to love her, but she wouldn't be true. Breaks a man's heart right in two. The day she left him, the sky turned gray. But he got up and worked the very same day. Oh, this old man, he has pain. He rolls it over inside his brain. But the memories come time and tired, but he never stops thinking that's what he's gonna do, and he keeps on thinking till he gets through. This old man, he builds trains, and signs his name with a piece of wood. Drop it through, sand it down again. Yeah, this old man is my old friend. Yeah, this old man is my old friend.
To support my music habit, I do inspections on federally subsidized housing for low-income families. And most of the time, when I'm working, if there are any 3 or 4-year-old kids in the house, there's almost always one that will want to follow me around and check out what I'm doing. Usually the kid wants to just play junior inspector. Sometimes they're just curious. Sometimes they want to be defender of the household and make sure that I'm not intruding too much on their lives. But once in a while, there's a kid that just wants to talk. Just talk and talk and talk. And do you know that kid? Or were you that kid?
Or are you still that kid?
I don't know how many, maybe 3 summers ago, I was working in a public housing development near downtown Kansas City, and I met a little girl and her doll who just wanted to talk all day. They kind of romped around in my dreams for a couple of months until they made their way into this song. Little black girl living in the projects, little black girl with a ragged old doll. The doll had one arm missing, it hardly had any of its yellow hair at all. She loved that doll, terrible bad. She loved that doll, it was the only one she had. She loved that doll, even though it had no clothes. She loved that doll, she said its name was Rose. I was in her home, making my living, looking around like my job requires. She smiled real big when I said, "How are you, honey?" and held up her doll for me to admire. She told her so bad. She told it was the only one she had. She loved that doll even though it had no clothes. She told, she said its name was Rose. She followed me around while I inspected. She told me what she and Rose were doing that day. She said they had a camel and they'd ride across the desert. She asked me if I wanted to play with them all day. She told terrible bad. She told it was the only one she had. She loved that doll even though it had no clothes. She said its name was Rose. She asked me if the little girl asked me if I had a dollar. I had too many toys that my heart it just froze. The dolls I had meant nothing to me, and I said none that I remember were as special as Rose. She told so terrible bad. She told with a heart and a hand. She loved that doll in a way I can't compose. She told
poet. I know this because I bought a license. Had it printed at a copy shop and laminated. Now I carry it with me in case someone asks. It gets me into all kinds of places. I am admitted without question into police stations, the back wards of mental hospitals, the cadaver rooms of funeral homes. Everyone knows all poets are alike in some ways. Poets like to eat cabbage and beans. They handle rodents, steal from the produce counters of grocery stores, and peek into the eyes of the dead, searching out a glimmer of their own fear. Everyone knows poets are given to perversion. Poets like sex upside down from the rear with whips and chains, underwater and in public places. I knew a poet once who did it in a shopping mall. He flashed his poet's license, and everyone knew it was okay. Poets are found in all kinds of places. Their natural habitats are the window ledges of 20-story buildings, center lines of freeways, and circus high-wire acts. Everyone knows trouble follows poets. Their marriages will not take. Lovers die under mysterious circumstances. Their cars get repossessed. They get fired, arrested, picked up, committed, analyzed, and lobotomized more often than the general population. Poets live on the outskirts of credibility in shanty towns surrounded by barbed wire, keep everydayness at bay. They slip on banana peels, tell sick jokes, pick scabs from the huge gaping sores of real-world encounters. Poets stay up all night, smoke and drink too much, shoot heroin each other and themselves. They swim in the blood of their comrades, paying homage to stars that burned themselves out years before they were born. And if you ask poets what they fear most, they'll answer right up without blinking. The thing they fear most is being safe and sane and normal. Given the choice, a poet will choose the path of a speeding bullet, even a speeding train or microbus, over the sanctity of a 50-year death.
Politics in general and jobs that don't pay enough, 40-hour work weeks, books full of boring stuff, schools that should teach but kids don't learn a thing. These are a few of my least favorite things. Healthcare that won't heal and how people treat the earth, paying tolls and taxes, disbelief in self-worth, bitter cold winters that cut into spring. These are a few of my least favorite things. Religions that claim they're true, don't get me started. Standards that double and people cold-hearted. Judgment and bias when freedom don't ring. These are a few of my least favorite things. All the lying, all the killing. When I'm depressed and sad, I add that to all of my least favorite things, and then I feel really bad. Feel like Julie Andrews or something.